Hello everyone, my name is Joshmus Prime and I'm back with another video, and this one is very random. This one is all about little life improvement features, immersive type update or things that could be added to Minecraft, and I think it would just enhance the game a little bit. But so first we have the zombie horse. I mean, as this thing has been in, it's only available in creative and it's been here forever, I think it makes sense to introduce it, especially with the wild update, just a new variant. So how would they do that? Well, I thought maybe a jungle temple, right? Like a horse that had been leashed and just abandoned. Maybe a separate chamber at the bottom of a jungle temple. Kind of makes sense. If you have a horse and it's down to 2 hearts and you throw splash potion of poison rather. I did this earlier and I got the horse down to 2 hearts, and then he kept every time I relogged in, I think because I'm in creative, he was back up to 5 hearts, so his max health. But you could poison a horse down to that, or I was also thinking, okay, I'm sorry, buddy. I was also thinking this could spawn in part of this the zombie summoning mechanics of the game. So like it would never spawn just as is, but if you kill a zombie and let's say like maybe the conditions are it has to be a new moon where there's no moon in the sky really, and the zombie summons something, there's a partial chance of this coming in. And since baby zombies ride chickens, maybe it would make sense for a full-grown zombie to ride a horse, maybe with a sword or something. Just to add to that, the horde of zombies aspect that can sometimes happen when you're playing. But that's all I got for the zombie horse. Next, we have more mob heads in general. This is kind of a random grouping of them, not really based on anything. Although, as I did it, I realized maybe they could have mob heads based on achievements. So like the cats, you're breeding cats. Maybe you want to have this to, signal that you have all the cat types. Or ghast, you bring it to the overworld and kill it. Bats, if they drop their head, then maybe people would stop complaining about them not having any drops. Although they do have a use. They indicate where a cave is, so I don't know why everybody says they're useless. Yeah, but I mean, just more mob heads in general. Maybe not everything, just expanding. I mean, I see this in so many SMPs, and they're fun to decorate with. Obviously, Ancient Guardian, taking on a Guardian Temple, that makes sense. So, Skeleton Horse, just because it's a rare thing. Ravager Head, I mean, more mob heads in general. I guess it's kind of self-explanatory. You don't really need to elaborate too much. Next, we have something for the Nether. I guess it could be Overworld as well, but the Firewalker enchantment. As you can see, I just renamed it. But it acts just like Frostwalker does with water in the Overworld, but with lava. So you throw these boots on, and this is just a simulation, and then when you do go over lava, it creates magma cubes out of the lava, and then they revert back to lava as they... I mean, this obviously isn't reverting back because it's just pistons and stuff, but kind of a really cool, simple idea to make Nether travel more easy or interesting. Maybe this would be one of those things that only shows up in like a Bastion or something, like Bastion Remnants. So you can't get it by crafting or trading. You have to go to make it a really rare item drop. But it would just be cool, so you could end game, later in game or something, you could actually traverse the Nether really easily and just focus on whatever you want to be doing in the end game. But next, this is a borrowed idea from a previous video, my Void update video. This is a really small version of an Ender Barn. And these would just be located out in the End Islands randomly, and there would just be... It's all based on what Enderman can carry. So they'd have sand. It's a way to show or have immersion in the end. And also show that the Endermen are smarter than they let on. Like gray concrete, I think makes sense. They could have gravel and sand. You know, they can carry flowers, so and white flowers or or flowers that turn to gray. So them making concrete powder out of that kind of stuff with the things they can carry makes sense to me. I go into this a little bit more in my Void update video, but yeah, I don't really know what they'd have for loot. Maybe a unique item or something, but I just think that'd be a cool addition to the end. Taking away the barren thing. I mean, it would still be pretty barren because this would just be a small structure out in the end. But on to the next thing. I just came up with a way to craft crying obsidian. Obviously, I think piglin trading farms are better for this, but if you just wanted a couple, you put gas tiers around obsidian because, you know, tears, crying. This makes sense, right? But I don't know. I just thought it was this is one of those really minor improvements, as is the next one, where it just kind of makes sense, or within the confines of Minecraft. So on to the next one. This is just a regular oak tree, nothing special, but instead of dropping saplings, this is supposed to be an acorn. And that's what that's also supposed to be. But yeah, I just think with the mangrove swamp, with the mangrove trees dropping propagules, they customize the seeds per tree. I think dark oak, jungle, they make sense for saplings, but birches have kind of a unique looking seed. Oaks obviously have acorns. Spruce, maybe you could get a pine cone. Maybe they could do something with those to make them more interesting, but this is more to, what would you say, make it universal across all tree types, you know? If they're going to introduce the propagules instead of a sapling, I guess they kind of... It's one of those things that doesn't matter at all, but I just think it'd be interesting, or more interesting if they had, you know, these drops based on the tree. And then if, like, let's say they introduce squirrels, you could feed and tame and breed squirrels based on giving them acorns or something. I don't know, just a way to improve the game and leave it open for future possibilities. But next we have this, and this is supposed to be a cinnamon tree, and it's not really. I don't think they look like this at all, but just kind of made a simple thing. I have the 3D textures of dripstone, which is what that is. But so this, you could shear it and you'd get cinnamon bark, which you could convert to brown dye. Or if you broke down one of these, you get cinnamon sticks, and two of those could get together to become just regular sticks. So, I mean, it's not super useful, but I was thinking for biome placement, this would make sense in, like, I don't know, a dark oak forest or maybe a savanna. Somewhere that's less common than, like, plains and whatnot, but still common enough where you could find it. And it's mainly for the brown dye aspect, so you don't have to go travel all around looking for a jungle just to get this. Granted, once you do find it, it's pretty easy to keep making, but just a way to... Another way, with dyes especially, I think they should be pretty easily accessible, you know, early game and whatnot. You shouldn't have to do too much to get dyes. Like red, I think there's like 5 different things you can use, you know. So it's kind of one of those things. But on to the next one is the lemon tree. And this is kind of a goofy principle, so just hang with me. But yeah, you'd have a lemon sapling and grow up and be a lemon tree. I also like the idea of having these smaller trees of some types introduced in Minecraft. They don't have to be these. Maybe a peanut tree or a rubber tree. I have no idea. But so this lemon tree, you get a lemon, and then when you click on an item with the lemon, right click on it, you create the mini blocks. And this is again for builders, more decorative purposes. But it's meant to a way to introduce, you know, the mini blocks into Minecraft. It wouldn't be every block type or anything, but I think it'd just be a cool way to introduce them. And the reason I picked a lemon tree for this is I thought of, you know, if you bite into a lemon, your mouth shrinks up or whatever from it being all sour. So giving it this really random ability to shrink objects is kind of a cool derpy way to incorporate it into Minecraft, I think. But anyways, next we have the glass jar right there. I couldn't come up with a good cover design, but this would be made with glass. Instead of a bottle, it's just the 3. If you do it in the configuration of like a cauldron with glass, you get the glass jar. And I thought of this with the new swamp coming out update, or wild update coming out with the thing on swamps. I thought it would be cool. Oh, I still have Frostwalker on, huh? Let's get rid of those. Yeah, with fireflies coming to the swamp, if they're still going to be there, this would be a cool means of collecting fireflies, and then it could be used as a light source to go along with the frog lights that are coming out. So, with this, I was thinking to make it kind of unique amongst light sources, maybe it gives off like a dimmer light of like 11, but since it's fireflies, it also blinks in and out, so you could have... I'm just thinking of building possibilities. It'd just be a way to, add some ambience if you wanted to have a broken factory or Halloween build, kind of a flickering light effect, rather than having to do redstone. And also you could gather fireflies from the swamp and bring them where you want them to be, maybe in a pen or something, and put them in there. So that's all I have for that. Next is the bamboo spear, and I just saw this in System Z's video, and I love the idea. So, be crafted really simply, just bamboo with flint on top. But this would give you the splash, or it would allow you to essentially have like the leaping effect, leaping 2, or jump boost 2 rather. Maybe it's leaping that I wanted, but I probably have to build a beacon for that, I imagine. But with leaping, you can jump over 2 blocks, right? And if we do this, sprint, and try to time our jump, where we take off from the log, you can see we land right about here. And now, we get rid of the effect, take off from the log, we land maybe the blue... kind of right halfway in between these two. So, you get... And maybe it could even give you more. Basically, the way I see this mechanic working is you have it in your hand. You run up, right-click, and rather than hitting space to jump, you just right-click like the block before, and then that'll launch it. Maybe even 3 blocks. And, maybe if this is where you're landing, maybe it'll get you to here or something. And it would also act as a spear. You could throw it. Maybe same enchantments as Trident. I guess maybe not. Riptide and Channeling would be kind of weird. Loyalty, maybe. I don't know. I think it'd just be a cool new addition that could make the game more interesting and fun. And finally, we have this. The potion brewing stand with the lightning rod on top. Be crafted just like that. Nothing too special, but in it, so you could set this out outside, right? And then lightning would strike it, and if you had bottles of water, you could catch lightning in a bottle, which would be, a potion you could throw, and probably not a lingering potion. It would act just like as if you were using a trident with channeling, like it would literally summon lightning to a spot. So let's do this. I need to do a couple things here. Let's turn on some thunder. And then let's set our deal to easy so you can get some mobs going. But now that we have thunder going, yeah, you could be, rather than throwing a trident, you'd just be throwing this splash potion, right? So you'd throw that and it would act just like that. So you could use it in redstone systems. You could also, if you're having trouble finding a trident or whatnot, this would be one way you could actually do it. You could change that. Also, I thought it'd be cool for witch farms, changing villagers to witches if you wanted. Maybe a new way to make a witch farm, but let's clear up the weather. And then also set this back to peaceful. And boom. But that's it. These are just kind of random ideas that I couldn't find a video to specifically put them in, so that's kind of where they all ended up. Anyways, I was Joshimus Prime. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.